first things we do have to tell you about Tony Blair is no, he is not the same Tony Blair as the one you might be thinking about. Tony is a current Air Force pilot instructor with over 21 years of service, mostly flying the F-111 aircraft for the Royal Australian Air Force, the RAAF. He's currently one of the executives at the Defence Force Basic Flying Training School, which is located at Tamworth, and one of his greatest satisfactions, he says, is this. Tony is flying the Rebel 300. It has the highest power to weight ratio of any aerobatic aircraft in Australia, and you'll watch as Tony takes it through many powerful vertical elements. You might find the shape of the plane quite familiar as well. This was designed and manufactured by the Zifco, the same manufacturers as those who made the Zifco Edge 540. Now that's the same aircraft that's been made famous by the Red Bull Air Race Series. The Allianz Rebel 300 has more of a wingspan than the Edge and is slightly lighter in weight, and this improves the aircraft's energy retention and cornering ability. It's something that Tony uses to its maximum. Tony is testing the outer limits of flight, in fact, intentionally bringing the plane into stall positions and dropping it down. These are controlled spins that he has to come out of, and it's not something that the average pilot would be able to do. In terms of structure, the wing is extremely solidly built and has an ultimate load strength of well over 20 Gs. The engine is no slouch as well. It is the Lycomake 540 cubic inch engine. That's nearly 8 liters of engine power using modern terminology. And this engine delivers something like 320 horsepower. That's more than 240,000 watts. And throughout most of the show, the engine will be putting out that power virtually constantly.
Steve, to get the job done and to operate safely. And again, he's doing that perfectly today. And there's another perfect demonstration of the wedge formation.
Now, throughout this performance as well, I notice you've got the radio up to the microphone so that the audience can hear a little bit of what Roulette Leader is saying to the other pilots. This is a bit of a behind-the-scenes look at how those maneuvers are being executed in real time.
That's right. These pilots prepare a lot for these each show. Around each show they're doing about 8 hours preparation to make sure that they get the show right. But even so, even though the pilots know the show back to front and inside out, Steve is the one who guides them through each position change and each manoeuvre, so everybody's listening out for him. He's the only one that's talking through the whole manoeuvre, and yeah, it's just a complete trust exercise, and that develops over time. These guys do about 4 months of workup program when they're selected for a position in a team, and even once assessed as safe and ready for public display, they'll practice about 5 times a week, so it's pretty much a full-time job for these guys.
Well, let's tune in just a little bit and have a listen to what squadron leader is saying as they come in for their approach.
So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, they're in what we call the Leader's Benefit Formation. And this is a tribute to our very first roulette leader, Squadron Leader Phil Dunn, who first led the team. Long way to come, but we're very happy to be here and supporting our Singaporean friends.
Did you get much duty-free shopping done along the way?
That's something we're definitely going to do before we head out of here for sure. We like to take advantage of trips away like this. And as you can see, they've just broken up into the twin Vic formation, and roulettes 5 and 6 will shortly break away from the formation and set up for their own special manoeuvres. So a little bit about the aircraft you've seen today, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Pilatus PC-9. We've first took delivery of these aircraft about 20 years ago, so they've been around for a little while, but they're still just the Ferraris of the skies. And if you look now, roulettes 5 and 6 are setting up for what we call the roulette mirror. Roulette 5 is just rolled inverted at 500 feet, and roulette 6 will fly directly underneath him. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no illusion to this maneuver. Roulette 5 is directly inverted above Roulette 6.
Those tail fins just within a few feet of each other.
Yeah, there's about a metre or two of separation between their tails, so there's a lot of practice that goes into that manoeuvre. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, if you look out to your right, you can see roulettes 1 through 4 running in for what we call the corkscrew. Roulette 1's just rolled inverted, and roulette 4 will fly barrel rolls around the rear of the formation.
Now, there were moments during that pass when the pilots do get out of the sight of each other. They can't really see each other when they do that.
That's exactly right. The smoke you can see today, ladies and gentlemen, is generated by spraying a mineral oil and diesel mix into the hot exhaust gases where it's vaporized. This helps us to not only visually enhance the display you're seeing today, but also to help us locate each other when separated.
So in terms of hard flying, in the formation that we see, for instance, who is doing the hardest flying?
Great question, Joe. I would have to say that roulette 5 and 6 have the most difficult position maintaining their place in the formation.
And they are the ones where on the outermost side of things?
Yeah, so they're in the back row there on the far left and far right. And again, what makes their position so hard is that they're so far away from the leader when he's turning or doing any manoeuvre, so they've got to fly an extra distance through the air, and so they require full power most of the time to stay in position. And here they come for the wedge to Vulcan rollbacks. And again, as I was saying before, ladies and gentlemen, this is the manoeuvre where each pilot will go blind on the formation. And again, they've got to get it just right. So if they roll too much, they can potentially come flying back into the formation and collide with other aircraft. Not enough, and they fall away from the formation. He's around about 1.5 metres from leader's tail. So he's working very hard to not get too close, but also not to get too far away as well. And this perfectly demonstrates roulette 5 and 6's difficult position being so far outside of the manoeuvre. And again, they have to anticipate that power change to make sure that they not only stay in position, but they have to actually start moving towards leader and anticipate dropping back in the position over the top of the manoeuvre.
Now, there's something very special about those engines. While we see them and we can hear their propellers, they're actually a kind of jet engine. Is that right?
That's right. It's what we call a turboprop. So it's a jet engine, but instead of the hot exhaust gases coming straight out the back, the engine in this aircraft is actually back to front. So the hot exhaust gases go forward, spin what we call a turbine, and that then is connected through a shaft to the propeller. The propeller spins and the air will do another 180-degree turn and then head out the back. So it does a few S-turns as it goes in. And there's a lot of aircraft, say like the King Air, the C-130 Hercules, that all rely on the turboprop technology. When the pilots are not flying in the roulette display, their normal jobs, they are qualified flying instructors located at RAAF Base East Sale, about 2 hours drive east of Melbourne. The roulettes come from all types of operational backgrounds, including airlift aircraft like the C-130 and C-17, all the way to the top-of-the-line frontline fighter like the F-18 Hornet. All these, the pilots you see, have been to the flying schools to teach students how to become fully qualified pilots, and from there they've come back to the Central Flying School where they teach